Okay, let's begin. So,
Does the clock actually work?
yes, I have two pocket watches and they both work.
That is so cool.
That is
Okay,
that is
You have a sheet the victim here.
to show them what it is. Because I'm late for a very important date. Plus, it opens backwards the way I want it to, and so I keep on like getting. Okay. So, what questions do you guys have on your homework?
a lot.
All the ones about Kramer's rule.
Yeah, 37 to 53. That was so bad.
I thought all the matrices down.
I did
but
both.
it's just the Kramer's rule part.
Okay, do you know
Okay.
what's good though?
Yeah,
Is I think I caught myself on a couple of the ones where I got it very wrong.
Good.
So it's just so
Something
painful
sticky.
to go back and do a bunch of matrices again.
Or like when you get it so wrong, but it feels right, so then you check it and you're like, how is this thing?
Okay. Oh, I'm on the wrong one.
The one
Yeah,
that was
never
like
mind.
fractions, because I always do my
Oh,
fractions
there
down to a decimal, and I was like, there's no way
Number 4.
they're not gonna have a round number. It was like something over 500 or whatever.
No, it was over 85. No, don't listen to that. That's what
Okay.
never mind.
So, number 37 says 7x minus 5y equals 11. And can somebody please read off to me the second equation?
Sorry, what page are we on?
3x plus 10y equals negative.
Okay. So, your first job
Am I on the right page? Click on it. Wait, he doesn't have
is to write this as a coefficient matrix. And I'm using determinant notation because that's what I need to find right away. Okay? So my determinant is going to be 70 minus negative 15, which is 85. Does that make sense? Cool. So here's the trick to remembering Kramer's rule for a 2 by 2 determinant. X equals the answer column instead of the X, and then the Y column, because that's all it is, over 85. So that's going to be 110 minus, and 56 times 5 is 280, so plus 280 over 85, which gives us 390 over 85. Choose 170. So reducing it down, that gives us, can 15 go into this number? 2, yes it can, 26 times. And then 15 goes into, no, 15 can't go into 85. So 5 can, 17 times, and then 5 goes into this one. Let me see, so that's going to be 78 times. Okay. Does that make sense?
Oh, I feel like I did that wrong.
And then the Y is the X column, and then the answer column instead of the Y. Does that make sense?
Yes.
No. That's X.
Oh. Wait, really?
Pretty sure.
And then you gotta do it.
I did 280 minus 110, and then I got. Wait, 2. I got some.
How?
Because I did. Did I do that?
Yes. It's AD minus BC.
Okay, so I was close.
And then, so 7 times 56.
Oh, I get what I did wrong. I did
350, 392. And then, oh, why did I write that? That's supposed to be a 3. So you have negative 392 and then minus 33. over 85. So that equals, let's see, negative 425 over 85, which equals negative 17, and then 85. Oh, well, that's 5.
Okay. Okay, now I'm close.
So
Ish.
I don't understand how you keep track of all of this. Like,
Yeah, for the quiz, like,
it's just purely memory.
you have the memory.
No, there's a pattern. It makes sense why we're doing what we're doing. So when you're solving for x, okay, whatever you're solving for, that's what you actually put the answer column in for. And then the other two are the same. Like here, we're solving for x. So we put the answer column here and then use the y. Here, we're solving for y. So we put the x here and then the answer column for y.
I don't understand how. I mean, I understand what it is. I don't understand why or how it makes sense.
Okay, well, this is how I kind of thought about it. So when you're solving for x, you need to get x by itself. So you would take x out of the column thingy, and then that would leave you with y, and then the final answer thingy at the end. Oh, goodness.
So the reason that these things work is because of patterns that were discovered by people solving for systems of equations over and over and over, and recognizing that we are just combining the coefficients, and that's all that we're doing math on. So they made these discoveries that you end up doing the same math. We're just taking out all of the unnecessary writing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the determinant would be similar to doing something like multiplying everything by a number to get the same coefficients or something like that. Yes?
So, I don't know about what that one says, but in our answer book, it says the answer to 37 was negative 2, negative 5.
-2?
Yeah, because you did the end one.
Oh, because I wrote 11 instead of 7 here. That's weird. Where did I get 11 from? Oh, no, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And then -5 and +10.
Switch. So it would be like -5 and 10, and then the 11, and then the negative 10.
I don't know.
Because you would do your y and then your final. And that's how I got -2.
Oh, I see what I did. So it's 110, and then it would be minus a positive 280, which gives us 170. Negative 170. Which gives us -2.
Is the answer supposed to be a fraction for y?
No.
Number 39.
For number 39? I don't know. Okay.
Oh, wait. Are we
It's
having
supposed to be 4 and
school
-1.
on the Monday
Yeah.
after Thanksgiving or before Thanksgiving?
I don't know.
I like to look at Wednesday.
This Wednesday? Yeah.
Wait, everybody's off school Wednesday.
Oh,
Some weird-
not us. Same thing that a lot of people are. It's a bank holiday for Columbus Day, but we're still here.
Cause like
Okay.
for English, she was saying that Thanksgiving we still have class on Monday.
On Monday?
Yeah.
That might be right. I don't know.
I think it's the week.
I'm not going to be here during Thanksgiving at all.
Okay. If I'm giving a test, I'll just email it to you.
Oh boy. I'll be in Chiapas, Mexico with the little orphans and I'll be like, oh, I got a test. Is there a test on that week? I hope there isn't.
Oh yeah, when is my chapter 4 test?
Wednesday.
Wait, what?
Wait.
No.
It is. We need to
So
get
the
through.
quiz
Oh yay, that's amazing.
Or is it take home?
The test is take home.
Okay, so we'll do the quiz in class.
Yes.
And then review for the test probably.
Okay. So we need to move. Your homework for review is going to be also on Wednesday.
Like due Wednesday or?
No. On Wednesday, you will walk out of the class
Oh, and you have
having
to do
taken a quiz with review homework and with the test. Yes.
Oh, okay.
We will be in a tail. Okay. Okay. Does anybody have any other homework questions or? Okay. Yes, you may. Thank you for asking, Justin.
You were talking. I didn't want to.
Okay.
I thought we kind of that I was like getting up and going to the bathroom. It's like I was getting leaving.
How? I don't know where you're going. You came back in with a book.
Longer than 5 minutes.
Did you walk out with a book?
I want to go out with a book.
Hello?
Why would I walk into the bathroom with a book?
Oh, you're here already? Oh, wow.
Oh, it's because there was
Are you here at the church? Oh, excellent. Yes, just wait right there and somebody will be right there. Okay, thank you. Okay, bye.
Oh, is that food?
Yeah, who wants to go pick it up? Because I feel like as the teacher, I'm supposed to stay here.
Is it paid for?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, homework questions?
There's a Bible.
It's right out front by the playground.
Okay. I picked the Bible and put it in the tablet.
Oh. I thought you might need reading material in the bathroom.
No.
Okay.
And I take my Bible to the bathroom every time. So the scripture helps me.
Which problem do you want me to do next?
I would say
Number 39. I got the same answer twice now.
Okay.
Which one's
39.
3 by 3?
I'm so upset.
Okay.
So for the quiz on Wednesday, is it just over Kramer's rule?
Yes.
It's not like 5 problems?
No, there won't even be problems.
What?
It will just be write down Kramer's rule.
Wait, really?
Yes.
So you're just writing basically the example in the book that gives you
the formulas.
All you're doing is writing down the formulas of Kramer's rule. Right?
Yep. Aren't you too lucky?
Harder than doing Kramer's rule. You get to memorize it.
It's not that bad. You have a week's notice to memorize, like, not even the equivalent of a paragraph.
That's true. That's not bad.
It's like the same amount of letters that are in a sentence.
It's just, I know, it's just like the way, yeah. Like when you memorize like a speech or something, it's like all like.
Here's what you need to do.
No, I figured it out. Like
just write.
Just go A, B, C.
Just write it out like
yeah.
a lot.
Write out. Yeah, write out A, B, C, D, blah, 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 and then go through and just erase the first, second, and then the third column. And then just write in the answers in each one of those. That's all you have to do.
So basically, we're just going to be writing down this. And
yes.
That's not
okay.
Oh. So for the quiz, all we're doing is writing down things. Oh. This one and this one, right?
So we gotta have them memorized anyway.
Yeah.
So we have to write that and that.
Okay.
Okay. So the determinant is equal to -5 minus 21. So it's -26.
Wait. Oh no. No.
So then.
You're supposed to subtract them, not add.
Right.
It actually does work in a column system, though. Should I go out and...
Oh, no, the girls are on their way back, hopefully. So then here, when we're solving for x, we have the answer column and then the y column. So it's going to be +15 minus, and 7 times 17 is 119. Over -26.
You did that in your head?
Yeah.
117?
Yeah. So then it equals -104 over -26, which is 4.
I'm not there yet.
So was that just quick head math, or do you have like high-level times tables memorized?
That's just quick head math.
Wow.
It's just 49 plus 70.
Oh, it's just 49 plus 7.
Duh.
So,
I can't even like multiply 2 times 2. It's so bad.
and then
I'm like,
this is
I think it's like a
this
minute
is one
bigger.
more than 25.
it's so bad.
And so if I have 4 of them, I'm going to have 4 more than 25 times 4. So
Okay, so
4.
then y equals
I feel like I could be sealing my own fate, but I want to do a little bit of stuff on the board.
Woohoo!
Like, work the cameras won't come out.
I kind of want to.
Well, review will be on Wednesday.
Because I just don't like paper. Paper's boring. We do paper every day. We have a giant whiteboard.
So then, using Kramer's rule for y, we have 17 minus 9, which is minus negative 9, which is plus 9,
They, like, go around, it's like,
over
I went to the
negative
wrong part.
26
That's a fancy value.
equals negative 1.
There's so much.
I got a salad.
Okay, you want a salad?
Wait, you add.
Don't hurt
I'm adding here because I'm subtracting a negative. Because the product of negative 3 and 3 is negative 9. So I'm doing 17 minus negative 9. So it's the same thing as 17 plus 9.
There's salad.
Wow, that looks amazing.
Yeah. Buddenbrook is awesome.
I've never eaten there.
We go there on the Sundays because there's one down the
Yes.
hill from our church.
AD minus BC, but BC was negative. So we're subtracting a negative.
Oh yeah, I do that every time for the if I need the determinants.
Oh.
Add.
Yeah. Don't turn in your homework today.
I almost
Don't turn it
called this syrup. I was gonna say, here's your syrup.
Okay, let me know when you're done
Don't
copying
turn
this because we
homework
need to, if you need to redo it, she needs to redo all of her determinants.
Wait, what are we doing today?
Okay. Yeah.
What section are we doing today?
4, 4, and 4, 5.
Okay. We have homework before.
Inverse matrix. What does that even mean?
Okay, is everybody done with the homework questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I understand.
Well, hello there.
Literally so sad.
Okay,
So what have we done so far?
we're moving into new material right now, and we're going to move kind of fast so that we can get through 4, 4, and 4, 5, so that on Wednesday you have the opportunity to only do review, and you don't have to learn new material before you take a test on it. Same day. Okay.
What if
All right.
finish?
You can just turn it in on Wednesday.
I don't think anybody did. Okay, I finished.
Okay.
I finished.
Okay, so this is important. If you have a 2 by 2 identity matrix, it looks like this. Okay? Because our first column is x's, so it's 1x and 0 y's. And then our second column is y, so it's 0 x's and 1 y. Isn't that weird that we make it plural if it's 0? I just noticed that. 1 y, we have even less than that, 0 x's. Why shouldn't it just be 0x? We don't even have singular, we have none. Anyways, okay.
I mean, people do say English is weird all the time for a reason.
It's an amalgamate. So when we're doing the identity matrix for a 3 by 3, this part right here is the same because we're still talking about x and y, but now we've added this z column. So that here for z, you don't have any x's or y's, and you only have a z. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Good.
I say that now.
So it goes down diagonally, 1, 1, 1, and all the rest are zeros. It goes down diagonally, 1, 1, and all the rest are zeros. So the same pattern follows no matter what your dimensions are for your matrix. It will always be 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 all the way down, and everything else is 0.
Wait, and this is
Identity. This is an identity.
Matrix.
Right. If we multiply this times the solution, we will just get the solution. This does not change the value of a matrix. It's the same thing as A times 1 is A. A matrix times the identity matrix is A matrix.
Wait, so if we had A is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we multiply it times I, it would still.
Yes. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 times 1, 0, 0, 1. So you have 1 times 1, right? Plus 2 times 0. And then over here, you have 2 times 1, or 2 times 0, plus 2 times 1.
Oh.
Right here, you have 3 times 1, plus 4 times 0. And right here, you have 4 times 0, plus 4 times 1.
Yeah, okay. That makes complete sense now. And
Oh, good.
it's weird because for some reason I was thinking we just multiply straight. I forgot about the weird way that we multiply matrices.
Yes.
So yeah, that makes sense now.
Excellent. So while multiplying times 1, if you have A times 1, and you know that equals A, that might kind of seem really basic and unhelpful until you get to the point where you need to do something like get a common denominator. And then multiplying by 1 in a different form, like if you have 3/5, and you need to multiply it times 5 over 5, this is stating the same thing. So whatever I get will still be equal to my original A because I'm only multiplying by 1, even though I'm changing the way it looks. So the identity property of multiplication is incredibly important to solving for a lot of problems. So the identity matrix is going to be incredibly important for solving a lot of operations with matrices. Does that make sense? Okay. So let me know when you're done so I can move along. Okay. I'm a math teacher. That's weird. Okay. So, this is weird sometimes, you know? So, if you multiply a matrix A times what's called its inverse, you will get the identity matrix. In the same way that if you multiply A times its inverse, 1 over A, you get 1, which is the multiplicative identity. Does that make sense? Yeah, Justin. Picking up what you're laying down. Here's a point.
What does the A stand for?
Matrix A. Okay. So, if we have any matrix A, and we want to find its inverse, let's call this matrix A, B, C, D. Make it generic. The inverse is going to be equal to 1 over, and then the determinant of A times, make sure I got it in the right order. So you switch everything. You get D, negative C, and then negative B and A. And when I say you switch them like it's the determinant. So you switch, the determinant is AD minus BC. So you switch A and D, and you switch B and C.
Wait, is putting something to the negative 1 power, is that the same as putting it under 1?
No. Yes.
Then how does that work?
But that's, sorry. If you have this, that does not equal 1 over this.
Well, that's because it's a function.
Right, it's function notation.
Like, if you just had...
But x to the negative 1 will always equal 1 over x. Because a negative exponent means it's in the opposite side of the fraction bar.
So we're doing, when you say inverse, we're doing everything in the matrix to the -1 power.
No. You can't, just like when you're multiplying matrices, you can't take these terms and just directly line by line compare them to these terms. We have to combine them in a certain way. We have to combine these in a certain way too. This way. Okay. Which equals then, how do they write this? So 1 over the determinant, which is AD minus BC, as long as your determinant does not equal 0. Your determinant cannot be equal to 0 because it's in the denominator of something. Yay. Still waiting.
Gotcha.
Okay, so who wants to try finding a matrix on the board, Justin?
Okay.
Well,
Yeah,
just
right.
because he said, I'm probably, what did it say?
I actually, when you guys were gone, I said I want to do something on the board because I'm bored.
That's not what you said.
Because
You said you
I
just
said
don't like
paper.
paper.
Is boring. I said paper is boring. How do you know?
Okay.
Okay. So
I
what
want
are we
you.
doing? You said.
So A is 3142. What?
Said the bush couldn't come any sooner.
Oh, decode messages. You can. One of my students the other day, or was it in this class? I don't think it was in this class. So one of my students is always asking about, like, when will I ever use this?
In the World War II.
Never.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, was that in this class?
You said that.
Oh, okay, math won the war. Okay, so what is the inverse of A?
So
I love sound effects.
where's the eraser? So that would be 1 over the determinant of A, right?
Yes. Yes.
But you have to make sure you're solving the determinant. You can't just put 1 over A.
You will need to solve for the determinant before you're done.
Yeah.
Take my ears off because they keep
we're going to
flopping.
find the determinant of that.
Yes.
Which
is 2.
So.
Sorry, I should have just let you figure that out.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Do you want me to just put 2?
No, I want you to figure it out.
Okay. So determinant is 3 times 2 minus 4 times 1. So that's 6 minus 4 is 2. Yeah, I can see how you figured that out.
Wait, you need to subtract them, right?
So 1/2.
Yes. So you're gonna.
Is that the answer?
No. You're gonna multiply that.
So wait, we know that a to the -1 equals.
No, it doesn't. 1 over the determinant of A equals 1/2.
But the determinant of A is 2, and
right.
A to the -1 is 1 over.
No.
2?
No. A to the -1 is equal to this whole thing.
Wait, A over the -1. Oh, times.
Right, because A is referring to the matrix.
What is this?
This is the determinant of A. That's where you have to switch A and D, and you switch B and C, and you negate B and C.
Wait. Now I'm confused.
So when you're doing the determinant, you combine 3 and 2.
Is there a shorthand for whatever that is?
You combine, you switch A and D, just like you used A and D to find the determinant. Now switch
Okay.
their places.
So this is A. So that would be 2,
And 3.
3.
Good.
And
Now you're going to...
negative
Good.
1.
Uh-huh.
And negative 4.
Right.
My handwriting is so messy, even on a whiteboard.
Okay. Determinant of A is 2.
Now we need to multiply that 1/2.
Yes.
That's not so
Okay.
No. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's no way I'm gonna memorize this. So 1/2 of 2 4 1 3. Okay, wait.
Yes.
So when you're doing the switching over the matrix that you had,
Uh-huh.
in the example, you didn't switch the position of seeing the is it.
Oh.
Or would you
No, don't switch it. Ah, my mistake. Don't switch those two. Just negate them.
Wait, these?
B and C. Don't switch. Just negate.
Yeah.
That's my fault. I'm
So
sorry.
it'll be negative 4, negative 1.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
Oh.
Yeah, don't ever hesitate to speak up if you think that I've made a mistake, because I do that, obviously. Not that that mistake was your fault for not speaking up. It was my fault. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. Thank you for catching it. So now it's a scalar. So just 1/2 times 2, 1/2 times negative 1.
Oh, right, because it's a scalar multiply.
Right.
Okay. So, yeah. Then that would be, that's a really fat bottom. 1, negative 0.5, negative 2, and negative 1.5.
3 was positive.
Oh, 3 was positive.
There you go.
And this,
Yep.
that's the answer.
I would like you to leave it in fractions, but
Oh, I just immediately,
I know.
just think half of 3 is 1.5.
I'm not a fan of that way of thinking, but I'm not going to mark you down, but it will become very difficult to work with decimals when we,
Yeah, I think
as we progress into the year.
So, equals.
There you go. Yes. Woohoo!
Okay.
Yay! You did it correctly.
Helps me get it a lot. I don't know how I'm gonna remember that.
So, and if we want to verify, to check our work, / Jostyn's work, that he did it correctly, we would need to get this. The inverse times the original will equal 0, or 1, 0, 0, 1. So, you have 1, negative 5, and then negative half. And then you have negative 2 and 3/2 times 3, 1, 4, 2. Okay? So you have 1 times 3. Okay, so you have 1 times 3 plus negative 1/2 times 4. So 2, negative 2. And then you've got 1 times 1 plus negative 1/2 times 2, which is negative 1. And then you have negative 2 times 3, which is negative 6. And then plus, and then you have 3/2 times 4. So the 2 and the 4 cancel out. So you have 2 times 3, which is 6. And then you have 3/2, or negative 2 times 1, plus 3/2 times 2, which is 3. Make sense? Everybody but Justin? How you guys doing?
Again.
Good. Jacob?
Yeah.
Make sense? Oh, that one little affirmative word just makes me really suspicious. Are you sure you get it?
Yeah, it makes sense. It's like I would take time to
Yeah.
begin the homework.
Like I was just explaining to a student the other day, you don't actually learn from being in class. That's where you just get exposed. You learn the concepts with your homework.
Yeah, we do.
So, okay. So, how did I do that one? Okay. So now, you're going to be able to do something just a little bit more complicated.
Does it have to be more complicated?
Yes! If what? No.
Yay! Possibly worse.
I would love to them to do really complicated stuff on a computer where it's all dynamic and I can keep it organized.
Why? It's easier. It takes like 3 seconds. I'd rather just not do it.
A, X, and B are all matrices. We're going to solve for X.
Oh gosh.
A,
It's just normal solving for the unknown, right?
Yeah.
sure.
So x would equal a over b.
Nope.
Or I mean b over a, sorry.
Nope.
Because wouldn't you divide
Uh-uh.
a?
How do you divide by a matrix?
Oh wait.
But the matrix just represents a bunch of numbers.
Yes.
So
How do you divide
you can
by it?
divide by all of those numbers.
But there's
they
not
are
a-
relevant numbers at the same time, right?
But you haven't learned a dot quotient. You've only learned a dot product.
Wait, so we're dividing?
Nope.
Oh,
Not going to divide.
multiply?
We can multiply.
By the in.
So if we want just X to be left over here, say we had 2X equals B. What would we need to multiply to get X by itself? Right. The inverse of this.
Oh, so you have to figure out the whole thing and then multiply that by the b.
Ah. Yay! Okay. So
That's how many of these particular kind of problem are we gonna have on the homework?
on the homework or on the test?
On the homework.
How about both?
All of them.
We're gonna
They
have
will
5
all be
problems?
miserable and horrible.
Like, is there a number?
I don't remember what I assigned you for homework.
A lot.
Is it more than 5?
I wasn't emotionally invested in that decision, and so I just like picked it and typed it and then
So it's gonna be like 40.
forgot it
Was it more than 5?
I don't
You
remember.
Don't even remember that?
at all.
It's more than 5.
I'm really scared because this could
Okay.
consume my weekend.
So
We can
Well-
do tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or 2 Wednesdays.
it's due
Oh
Wednesday.
wait.
You have 1 day.
Oh my gosh.
A weekend.
Inverse of A. It's gonna be equal to.
That's not
You're getting a free weekend. 'Cause
This. So A inverse equals 1 over the determinant of A. It's going to be 4 times 1, which is 4, minus negative 3 times negative 1, which is positive 3. So 4 minus 3 is 1. Not so bad. So then all I need to do is switch these and negate these. So 1, 4, then I have positive 1 and positive 3. So that's the inverse. Because I'm multiplying it by 1, so it's not going to change.
You just made A an
Mhm.
inverse.
That's all I've done. And now I'm just waiting for you guys to finish copying down and move on to the next step. Okay, so the next step multiplying both sides times this. So I have A times its inverse is going to give me the identity matrix times X equals B, which is 8, negative 5, negative 6, 3 times, I have to multiply the same thing by both sides, so times A's inverse. So this is just 1 times this matrix X. So that's going to give me just X equals, now I just have the dot product, 8 times 1, excuse me, plus negative 5 times 3, and then I've got 8 times 1 times, or plus negative 5 times 4, negative 6 times 1, plus 3 times 3, and negative 6 times 1, plus 3 times 4. So X is negative 7, negative 12, 3, 6. See, it's really not so bad. That's all of the work. That's the answer.
Well,
You say that it's easy, but it's.
but it always gets more complicated. This thought just occurred.
Yes.
What if you offered rewards for catching stuff that you messed up on? That way, it's like people are really paying attention.
Okay, so that's not the answer.
Yes.
See, if somebody had caught that, maybe like
No.
they could have gotten 5.
No! No!
Because they're really paying attention, right?
Because you have to multiply the identity matrix first. So, or the inverse matrix first.
I wrote this in pen.
Remember how matrix multiplication is not commutative? So the product does not equal the product of the terms flipped around. Because I had B here and then multiplied it times A's inverse over here, but matrix multiplication is not commutative. I can't switch it around like that. So it has to be A's inverse times B.
Oh.
So then X equals 1 times 8 plus 1 times negative 6. And then you have 1 times negative 5 plus 1 times 3. And then you have 3 times 8 plus 4 times negative 6. And then you have 3 times negative 5 plus, and then you have 4 times 3. So here we go. Our answer is 2, negative 2, 0, negative 3. And that is the answer.
Oh,
Yes, it is. Make sense?
I'm hesitant to say yes, but I think it does make sense.
Let me know when you've got it all copied down. Give me the Caesar thumbs up. Nice participation, Isabel. You're welcome. Very diligent note taking, Samantha. I need more points. Points.
Might as well give my point back at this point because I'm taking 0 notes.
I know. You're just eating a sandwich. I mean, what kind of math class is this? Okay. Does this all make good? Does this all make sense?
Makes good.
Okay.
That makes pretty
Okay.
good.
Now, okay. Now let's find the inverse of the 3 by 3 matrix. By using the graphing calculators I made you all buy and said that you would absolutely need them in chapter 4.
I left mine at home.
I'm happy to do stuff on a calculator.
You're welcome. Well, actually, let me give you the coral so there's no chance you think it's yours. Because I'll need it.
Ooh, it's so bright.
Okay. So, I'm going to go into the matrix menu
Where? Oh, I see it.
by hitting second, and then it's above the x to the negative 1 button.
Oh, I see.
Now we're in the matrix menu.
You go to edit.
You go to edit. Press enter. Now it'll pull up a matrix for you. Enter the dimensions that you want. Can you see okay, Jacob? So we want a 3 by 3.
Oh,
As soon as I press enter, the correct dimensions pop up.
Oh.
And now I just going to 1 enter, negative 1 enter, 0 enter, 1 0, negative 1 6, negative 2, and negative 3. And don't forget to use the actual negative symbol. Do not type in minus or it will not do this because that won't be math. Does that make sense? Negative or minus. Okay, now home screen, second quit, or second mode.
Second mode.
Back on our home screen, it's pretty. And then you're going to hit matrix again.
Wait, sorry, I can't get back. Oh, second mode. Okay, I got it.
Now go back into your matrix menu. Scroll over to math. The very first one says determinant.
Ha!
Whoa.
That makes
Right?
my life a million years easier.
And if we want the inverse, I think that's the second one. Wait.
Wait, is inverse in math, or can you just indicate a matrix and then say to the negative 1 power, like on just type in?
Let's try it because it's not showing up. That's weird.
Okay, so how do you indicate a matrix? Are there square brackets on here?
You go into your matrix menu where it says names. When the one you want is highlighted, just press enter.
Oh, so you press enter on the one that you
Yep,
want to put
you're right.
in the home menu. Okay. So.
And then after you've selected A, you just hit that button right above it. Or actually, it's the same button except you're not accessing the matrix menu. And then you press enter, and it calculates the inverse for you.
So it would look like that?
No, don't do the determinant. You don't need the determinant right now.
Oh, I thought you told us to do.
Oh, I said that the first one was determinant. I was like, look, there it is. Easy.
So what would we press
So
from there?
you go second, that little x to the negative 1 button.
Calm down.
When it's highlighted next to the matrix that you want, like A, press enter, and it's going to pull that A out in the home screen. And then the same button that you press for matrix, just don't press second first, is the inverse button. Press that, and then enter.
This makes my life so much better.
I told you guys that the calculators were going to make things so much easier.
Dude, this is like when you have to do.
Of course I didn't.
This is like when you have to do long division in like the 100 millions, and then you get to use a calculator.
Yeah. It's like a whole new world has been opened
Okay.
up to me.
Let me double check on what I gave you for homework, because I'm pretty sure I did not give you any of the...
It's like the sewing machine being invented.
Are we still on 1.4?
Yes.
I have no idea what you just said. I was going to say, now we don't have to use Scotch tape, but I don't think they have Scotch tape then. That wasn't funny at all.
No, because like if you wanted to sew something, you have to individually thread it, right? And but like with a sewing machine, it's in and out really calculated. Yeah.
Okay.
Sewing machines are calculators.
Why do you know so? Why do you care about sewing machines?
I don't know. There's just one
It's not a
out in
secret
our
sewing
house.
business. So we're gonna keep going with it.
Yeah, you know how? No, you wouldn't know. I made a joke about owning a company at the beginning of the year in literature, and a bunch of people thought I actually did own a company because it was the really ridiculous one. So they're like, "I bet he actually does own a company." I was like, "No, no." We were doing like 2 truths and a lie.
I should start a business where I just sell my notes.
That's right, we're
Yeah, I
behind.
think that's illegal.
I gave you 13
Well,
through
notes
39
aren't
on.
No,
illegal.
they're just notes. They're not
Well, I'm
Yes.
pretty sure you'd
Okay.
be competing with like websites, right? Cliff Notes is the.
No, but you could sell it to your like classmates. Like if
On
you your classmates
to 4 5.
Okay.
Okay.
Or just photocopy and give them to everyone.
We are allowed to have calculators on the test, right?
Yes.
Oh, thank you, God.
Absolutely. You are done. As of this chapter, you are done with the no calculators allowed.
Do we have a midterm?
Yes.
Is it soon?
Ish.
Like February before January?
I like your forward thinking, Sam. It's in January.
Oh, okay.
It's at the end of the semester.
Oh, it's January?
Yeah, the end of the semester is in January, isn't it? I could just double check on that.
I think last
We
year
only
was
have
January
like
15th.
a little bit of time.
I plugged in.
Right, we have 15 minutes to do 4 5.
Oh no.
Oh, is that
Okay, so if we have negative 3x plus 4y equals 5. And 2x minus y
Oh no.
equals negative 10.
Oh wait.
To write this in matrix form, we would write a coefficient matrix times a column matrix equals this. This, remember, is a 2 by 2. This is a 2 by 1. We can perform that operation, and the dimensions of our answer will be 2 by 1. And yes, it is.
I think I'm just a little bit confused because this hasn't quite been put into context yet. That's why it just keeps kind of.
So
Wait, so we're solving that?
we're going to.
Okay. So we're preparing to solve it.
Right.
And
Okay.
Oh, we're
I lost my pretty purple marker. It was my favorite. I'm so sad. I need to get some more markers. Anyone wants to give me a Halloween gift, that's what I want.
Just a big package.
It's not my favorite purple. My other purple has like reddish purple. It's really pretty. This is like a man purple. I know.
It's like the royal
So,
purple.
Indigo.
Yeah.
So, if I want, indigo was one of our very first cash crops, right up there with hemp and then rice. In case you need a little U.S.
Oh, yeah.
history. Did you like when I interrupted your U.S. history class the other day? That was amazing.
A little bit dry.
So my calculus class last week ended up in next door to his U.S. history class, and his teacher, whom I've never met that guy. I don't even know his name. He was teaching, and we could hear him. Our air conditioning wasn't working, and so we didn't get started right away. We were just like standing there waiting for people to come and tell us what we were going to do about the air conditioning. It was 85 degrees in our room because it was the heat wave last week. So we're standing there, and I hear this lecture on the temperance movement. And so then I was like, come on, kids. And so there's only 3 people in my calc class. So they got behind me and we like walked over. We just walked into his classroom.
Like peeked around the door.
Yeah.
A little bit.
A little respectful. And then it took him a second to realize that we wanted to talk to him. And so he's like, yes. And I was like, I'm sorry. But my calc class and I next door were just listening to your lecture on temperance. And we thought it was a little dry. Do you get it? Because dry means no alcohol. It was so funny. And so does temperance. The temperance movement means no alcohol.
It was like in the middle of the lecture.
Yeah.
We thought you were gonna come in and say something serious.
No. It was awesome. It was so
I was
good.
like, oh no, is there a problem or something?
Okay.
No, sorry, your discussion sounds a little dry.
He thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was way more funny because like it contextually it should have been like something serious.
Could you hear us laughing next door?
No.
Oh, okay.
Before you came in?
After.
No. I don't remember.
Oh, because we had 2 whiteboards lined up next to each other, and there would be ones where the fraction was so big that I would have to go like this. And I was laughing like a little fairy, just prancing from board to board.
Tori's sitting there scared for her future.
Okay, so to solve this, we want this to be just x, y equals matrix, right? So in order to get this to be identity matrix, so because the identity matrix times xy is just xy, we need to multiply A inverse times 5 negative 10. So how do we find the inverse of this? Well, I'll tell you. A inverse is equal to the same thing that it was just a minute ago.
Wow.
I know. 1 over to the determinant of A times this thing. So what's the determinant of A? It is negative 3 times negative 1, positive 3 minus 2 times 4, which is positive 8. So positive 3 minus positive 8 is negative 5. So we have 1 over negative 5 times dA is going to be negative 1, negative 3. And then negative B and negative C, negative 4 and negative 2. This is a scalar, so I'm just going to multiply each one times negative 1/5. Get 1 over 5, 4 over 5, 2 over 5, and 3 over 5. Nope. That's A's inverse. So I need to plug that in right here and multiply that times 5 negative 10. So xy equals, and remember to put this one first, or like you saw before, it won't work. Okay, so then that 1/5 times 5, 1, plus 4/5 times -10. So the 5 and the -10 cancel out, so you're left with 4 times -2, -8. And then you have 2/5 times 5, which is 2, plus 3/5 times -10. 5 and the -10 cancel out, so it's 3 times -2, which is -6. And your answer is -7, -4.
And that is the solution
To X and Y.
system.
Yeah.
So would
You
that
can't
X,
change the
Y?
system. Yeah, that's X and Y.
Oh,
I threw it on the ground. Do you guys know that video? What? Really? Okay, I'm going to make you watch it so that this makes more sense because it's hilarious. But first we need to make sure that you got all 4 or 5. But I do kind of, I don't need you people to get it for it to be funny. That was funny. That was funny.
So with the inverse, you always have to put it first.
Yes. And then if you have, yeah, we have time. Okay, just give me the Caesar thumbs up when you guys are ready for me to erase this. Caesar thumbs up? Okay. I love the swings. I don't know how you guys feel about the swings. Those are amazing. You know, just like at the park.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
love
don't
the
know
swings.
why, but they're very underappreciated.
No.
Don't try that.
Yeah, don't do that.
It's like everyone used to, that's what everyone does. They used to all the perks and you put
Well,
when you were
maybe
like a
it's
huge thing. You put your back in the back of the swing and you would like I can't figure it out. Oh yeah, you would swing up and it would like the swing would push you basically do the whole backflip for you and then you just flip out of it.
maybe it's different since I had a person fall on me and I sprained my neck and had to spend the whole night in the emergency room
Well, what I did before,
with
I don't know what happened, but
a neck
I was
brace
super
taped
high
down,
and
them asking me if I could
went
feel them
above, like,
pinching.
the pole thing.
So maybe I'm just a little paranoid about neck injuries.
I just hit right
yeah,
down.
I would be too.
backflip off of like a Y structure, and he almost broke his neck.
Eee.
And he ended up with concussion, and it was really bad.
Sorry.
So now they have
Okay.
a policy at SCA that you're not allowed to do flips.
Wait, you can't do flips there anymore?
They'd probably do it even if he did land the flip. They'd probably put that policy up even if he did.
Oh
Wait,
yeah,
SCA they have that?
crazy.
Um,
You at SCA?
what example?
You did what?
I was there for like 3 years.
What? Technically, that's really small.
What
I've been there
example?
for like 5.
Oh, you still go there?
Would this be in the textbook?
3.
We'll still go there. It's not a dead place. It's Southport still alive. So it's fine.
Okay.
Hey, we
I
get to
didn't
use
do
a
that day
calculator.
faster.
Yep.
I was the events and like
You know who this is Southport?
Okay, so when you get this, we only have 5 minutes left, people. Hold it in for 5 minutes.
Let's go.
Okay.
So are we?
What?
Is that first the A equals? Is that just going to be? A,
I think
B,
you're in the
C?
wrong section.
What?
We're in 4-5 now.
Oh, 4, 5. Right. Yeah.
So
I knew that.
we're doing 3.
Oh, but I was still right, even though it's the wrong example.
Okay, here's how you do it.
pretty much.
No.
That's really aggressive.
No.
Calculators. Calculator.
Why look like a bag?
Yeah. Yeah, Isabel laughed at my joke. Point. Okay, so go into your matrix menu and go scroll over to edit. Press enter. And then change the dimensions to whatever you want. Input your matrix. Yes, Justin.
I had a question.
Yes.
It's kind of relevant to this.
Oh.
We have these when you have like no x or no y in an XYZ equation, or where there's other XYZ equations, in a situation like this, do you represent it as 0 in a matrix?
Yes.
So like if we didn't have that 4y there, we'd just put 0 in its place.
Yes, because that's 0
okay,
y.
That's what I did on the homework, but that was just kind of a guess.
And then we're going to want to put in our answer matrix by going back to the matrix menu, scrolling over to edit. Now you're going to scroll down to matrix B, press enter. Our dimensions are 3 by 1. Then you'll input that. And then as soon as you guys have done that, go back to the home screen. Can you see okay? And then you're just going to go back into the matrix menu for names is what you want. A, inverse, times, B. And then you'll press enter. And that's X, Y, and Z.
What was B? Oh, where did we get that?
It's the answer.
Oh, okay.
Yep, that's X, Y, Z. Remember how long and awful it was to solve a system of 3 equations? Now it takes 2 minutes. Yay! That's the whole answer.
Okay.
Wait, so I'm confused. So after you've done your whole thing and you've got your things, your little guys up there, you quit, right?
Yes.
And then what do you do from there?
Go back into the matrix menu, but instead of scrolling over to edit, you're just going to remain on names, and then I'm concerned about the buttons you're pushing. Okay.
No, I was just, I'm not messing anything up.
And then you will highlight whichever matrix you want, press enter, and it will pull it out to the home screen to do math on it.
And then you just do that again, and then
I got.
But you want to make sure that you hit the inverse button first, so that you're taking the inverse of A times B.
I got 2, -1, -2.
Yup. What's Baymax do?
I got 3, 4, 5.
No, but I thought that your matrix looked a little off dimensions-wise. You're supposed to have a 3 by 3 and a 3 by 1.
I did it like that.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
So that's it. That's the whole lesson. We're totally out of time. Let me give you quiz on Wednesday, and the test will be given to you on Wednesday. Wednesday you're going to have the chapter review, and here is the homework. So it's 4, 4, 13 through 39 odd. You know, I wouldn't put it past me to give you more homework when you say stuff like that. Okay. Thank you. More homework for everyone. Happy Halloween. Not. You'll be doing homework.
Psych, it was a trick.
All right. And then 4, 5. 11 through 43 odd. I didn't give you that many.
What pages are these?
I don't know.
Okay. I'll find them.
They're
So number 2 will
page
start
233.
233.
And this one is page 2.
You need to seriously get your life together. You know?
It's not my life. Wait, who?
Wait, whose life is it?
Oh, and test corrections are going to be due next Monday too. Don't forget that. Alright, so
Don't get overwhelmed.
I know you can be overwhelmed and you can be underwhelmed, but can you ever just be whelmed?
Oh my gosh.
Mean Girls.
Yeah. The single greatest movie.
So, just as a review, today is Monday.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. No, you didn't.
You're living a lie.
Did you notice how you didn't get any points today, Mr. Sarcasm? I feel bad.
Oh.
I got like a lot last time.
I didn't give Tori or you any points today. There you go. Happy Halloween. So, due Wednesday. You will have that homework, and you will have a quiz.
So review for the quiz.
Review for the quiz. We're on Kramer's rule.
And wait, you said the quiz was just writing Kramer's rule, right?
Well, I'm always can change my mind. And then the following Monday, you're going to have your chapter 4 review, your chapter 4 test.
Like whatever you think of first is
Oh,
the right
and
thing to do.
Yeah, that's scientific, actually.
Like when you do multiple choice on a test, if you like first
You guys, you know,
thing like A, it'll be a change.
Okay.
we should start like a group chat for all of us, so if we have problems with math,
That's
we don't
how,
have
like,
to
class
just
works for geometry.
bother Mrs.
It's like a
Peterson.
huge group
We can
chat.
bother each other. Yeah.
So, on Wednesday, you will have due the homework that was going to be due today. I forgot that one thing. The homework from tonight, and you're going to have a quiz. And then on Monday, you will have your chapter 4 review due. You will have your chapter 4 test handed out, and your chapter 3 test corrections will be due.
So we have more time to correct.
Right.
You know what we should do? We
Okay,
should make,
that's
Google
it.
Hangout or Google
That's what I was thinking. So we could go on. Yeah, we could do
So
a
anybody can just be on.
So bad.